Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing well. This is Combat Painters, Winter Tabletop Baseball channel, and I will be replaying a little bit of the History Maker Baseball 1986 World Series Game 6 between the Red Sox and the Mets. It's Bobby Ojeda versus Roger Clemens. The Mets lead it. Actually, no, it was 2-1. And the Mets do lead it 3-2, I believe. It's game 6, and they've taken the last 2 games, and we're going to see if they can make it 3 in a row. And it's going to be Wade Boggs leading it off. Now you can see how History Maker Baseball works, where it has qualities, and rather than numbers or letters, it names different qualities of different players, and those relate to specific batting averages and specific abilities, whether walking or striking out or hitting doubles and home runs and so forth. So I'm going to get started. I'm using the app called iScore, and you can see most of the field on there, and you can see how it's got a lot of bells and whistles. I'm going to get started. I'm using the decider die cards, something a little bit different. So I'm turning this card, and it's 156. I look at 156 here. It asks me, there's nothing on the pitcher column. The batter column asks me if he's a whiffer, and he is not a whiffer. Then it goes to outfield drama. So I turn that page, and I look at the other card. It's going to give me a 1-4 in the outfield, a 1-4 right fielder gold. Darryl Strawberry, I know, is not gold. I know usually after 1 or 2 games, I know who's gold and who isn't. So he's not that level of quality in a right fielder. So otherwise, batter lines a base hit to right, a single. Okay, so then I roll the decider die, which I have up here, and it's bulleted. I'm using the other card. There is a bullet there, so it says roll the decider die. At the bottom here, there's an asterisk. It says dot results in iron. Fielder commits an error. Now, I don't think that Strawberry is an iron fielder, and we'll look at his card. I don't bother to write any of this down, and he is not an iron fielder. He's just a regular fielder, so that's not going to happen. So Wade Boggs is on with a single, so I hit in play and hit. So there he is. He held up at first. Let's get the next card. I flip the next card. It's 145. Now about 80% of the results come off this main page right here. 145, struggler, wild pitch. Clemens is not a struggler. I'm sorry. Ojeda is not a struggler. So I go into the next column, batter. There's nothing there, and then it says ground out to the first. The way I usually do it, if it's the batter, Barrett is a righty, he's going to hit a ground ball to the third baseman. That's going to be an out. He flips it he goes to second for one, back to first, and that's going to be a double play. I click out, and then I click double play, and that gives me 2 outs, and or 3 outs. Out number 2 outs, and it's Bill Buckner, the batter. So we're going to see Bill Buckner now. So it's 566. 566 asks me if Ojeda's an ace. He's a semi-ace. The card to my right has no bullet, so he is not an ace. So it's asked me if the batter is a sat sack. He is not. So it's going to be a double in the gap to right field, and it's going to say active steals. Buckner is not active, so Buckner gets a hold of that one, drives it into the right center fielder gap for a double. So he's standing at second base with 2 outs. And it's going to be Jim Rice. Flip the card. It's going to be 256. 256. And ask me if Ojeda's a struggler. He is not champion or patient. Well, he's a semi-champion. And I look at to the other card on my right, the one I pulled the deck of cards, and it said there's no decider die in there. There's no bullet in there, so it goes to infield drama. So let's see what happens in infield drama. That was a 4-4, so I already have that number. It speeds things up. Ask me if the pitcher's gold. He is not. Otherwise, pitcher mishandles ball and there's an error. So Ojeda boots it, and that's an error. And on the pitcher, advanced, same error, and then same error. There you go. So we got first and third now. It's going to be Dwight Evans, the batter. Dwight Evans, here's the pitch, 123. It's nice and quiet when you use the fast action cards. 123 is what I pulled. It asked me, is he flash and fresh? Ojeda is semi-flash. Decided I says he is, and he is fresh for the first 3 innings. So that's a strikeout. So Ojeda gets out of trouble, gets out of first and third jam there after allowing 2 hits, and in Met error, the Red Sox failed to score in the top of the first. So I really like History Maker Baseball. They have a sale today, Monday, and I was able to order a PDF of the 1999 postseason. I don't know if it comes with 8 or 9 teams or whatever it is for $6, which is a good deal. They're also selling this set at a discount today. So now we're going to see Lenny Dykstra. It tells you who's batting right there, Lenny Dykstra. I like that because I could be looking all over the place and thinking about a lot of different things, and this thing always kind of centers me, anchors me. Lenny Dykstra, the batter. And I pulled a 4.56, so let's see what that looks like. A 4.56, there's nothing under the pitcher. Ask me if he's patient. He is not. It's a fly ball, and that's lifted to center field. And Henderson waits for it, and he makes the out, and that takes us to what is the team chemistry. And the next team chemistry, we already have a 2-6 there waiting for us. Batting team harmony. And the Mets are batting, and the Mets are semi-harmonious at this point, and the Decider Die says they are. So fired up batter chops a single. So Backman is on with a single, hustles down the line, and beats the throw. And that's Backman. Wally Backman is on at first. And I was looking up a little bit of the history of Wally Backman, and he had some pretty good seasons. I mean, he batted over 300 a couple of seasons and in the 280s. I thought he was kind of more of a utility guy, he had his year starting. I never thought that he was a 300 hitter type. So anyway, next card I pull is a 133. A 133, there's nothing under the pitcher column. A slugger. Asked me if Keith Hernandez is a slugger, and he is not, so it's lifted to left. Jim Rice, a few steps to his right, and he makes the catch. And the runner at first held up. There's 2 outs now, and it's Gary Carter, the kid. A 135, that's a black 1 and a red 3. We're going to go, a black 1 is going to be umpire. Black 1, we have a 4.6, oh no, I'm sorry, that's a ballpark quality, 4.6, big ballpark. For a righty, it says it's a normal ballpark, so it's not. Otherwise, home run king hits home run, others fly out. That's going to be a fly ball, and my card is going to tell me it goes to right field. So it's going to be a fly ball to right, and the right fielder, Evans, pounds the glove and makes the catch, and that's the end of the first inning. We have no score here. We go to the top of the second. It's going to be Bobby Ojeda on the mound against Rich Getman, the catcher. So we pull a card, 3-3-4, ace or a star. Ojeda is semi-ace. The Decider Die says he is, so it's popped up. And that's an infield fly, and that's the first baseman calling for it, so that's 1 away. So Gedman pops up to the first baseman, and next is going to be Dave Henderson. 124, we look over here, 124 control. Ojeda is a control pitcher, so that's hit hard, but right at the shortstop. Santana over to first, 2 away, 6-3. It's History Maker Baseball, folks. A lot of fun. I'm playing very quietly. for no particular reason. Next batter is going to be Spike Owen. I pulled a 2.55 and asked me if Ojeda is a star. He is not. Asked me if Owen is a home run king, and he is not. It's going to be a fly ball. Shallow left. Mookie Wilson in a few steps makes the catch, and that's out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the second inning. You can get History Maker Baseball right now on Monday, Cyber Monday, if you will, till midnight for $40, $42, I think it was. It comes with 4 teams. Okay, it's gonna be Darryl Strawberry batting for the Mets here at the bottom of the second. There's no score. Game 6, the Mets lead it 3-2. Darryl Strawberry. I'm gonna pull a card. It's gonna be a 2-3-3. I'm gonna go 2-3-3 here. And ask me if Clemens is an ace or a star. He's a semi-ace, decide or die on the right. And the deck of cards where I pull the cards from tells me that he is an ace. So that's a card hit ground ball. And it's shortstop Spike Owens to his left and makes the throw. Gets Strawberry hustling down the line by half a step. 1-1-6 for Ray Knight, the batter. And it asks me if the pitcher's fresh, and he is, and that's a strikeout. So Ray Knight goes down swinging. Next batter is going to be Kevin Mitchell is not playing in this game. Mookie Wilson. It's 2.35, wild. Pitcher's not wild, eager. Clemens is not, Wilson is eager, semi-eager, so let's check. I look to my right, and the deck of cards, the card on top says there is a bullet there, so he is eager. So now it asks me if he's a whiffer. He's also a whiffer because of that, so whiffer takes precedence over the eager, and that's going to be a strikeout. He's called out looking. So Roger Clemens leads it off in the top of the third. This will be the last inning I'll be playing online. So there's no score right now here in the top of the third. It's going to be the pitcher, Clemens. Now Clemens has his batting data right on the card. I'm going to pull a fast action card, 256. 256 asks me if Ojeda is a struggler. He is not. Champion or patient. He is not. Infield drama. I turn the page, it says 2-5 on my deck. Infield drama, 2-5. Second baseman, iron, Wally Bachman, or Backman. I do not believe he is iron, and he is not. Iron, no, otherwise routine bouncer. So a chopper to Backman, he picks it up and flicks it over to the first baseman. And that's 1 away. And next you're going to see Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs is 1 for 1, so he's a hot batter right now. So it's going to be 2-3-3. I pulled 2-3-3. Let's see what that becomes. Ask me if Ojeda is an ace or a star, and he is not. Ask me if the batter is a slugger. He is not. So it's a fly ball lifted to center field. Dykstra waits for it. And that's out number 2. Next is Marty Barrett. He grounded out in the first at bat. It tells me right here. And I flip the card, 466. 466 is right here. Ask me if the pitcher's control, and yes, he is. And that's line drive, base hit for Marty Barrett. A single. Single for Barrett. And next it's going to be Bill Buckner, the batter. Bill Buckner doubled in his first at-bat of the game. So I'm going to roll 366. There's nothing under the pitcher column. I go to the pinch hitter, and it's rather the batter. It says pinch hitter. He's not a pinch hitter. So the fielder makes the catch in center field for out number 3. Fly ball, center field, out. Now we can look at the the box or the scorecard, if you will, and it shows you what everybody did. So far, that's the Mets. So the Mets are going to be up now. That's the Red Sox. Let's go look at the Mets again. So who's going to be up? It's going to be Rafael Santana, Bobby Ojeda, and Lenny Dykstra. So we pull a fast action card. It's 356, 356. It asks me if they're the same. So Clemens is a righty and Santana's a righty, so that's a strikeout. Now this comes into play about 3 or 4 times per game. I feel this is extremely representative of the righty lefty, platoon type thing. It doesn't always work. Righties get hits off lefties. Lefties get hits off righties, and so the fact that it's within the mechanics of the game, I really like it. I don't like having two sides of cards. That makes all the data very very small, all the print very very small, and I like this aspect of the game because it's realistic, in that righty righty and lefty lefty have an effect. Right, and this shows right here that there is a righty righty lefty lefty effect already embedded in the game itself without having to go outside. So I think it's a great and fluid mechanic. I know guys may disagree and they want that to be the sole life of the game, or a big or major part of the game, but I'm not like that, so I'm all good with it. So it's a strikeout, righty on righty strikeout. So the pitcher now, it's going to be Bobby Ojeda. And I'm going to pull the card. It's 156. I go to this side. Nothing under the pitcher. Ask me if he's a whiffer, and he is a whiffer right there. You can see it. That's a strikeout. So that's 2 strikeouts, back-to-back strikeouts, right, for Roger Clemens. So he's got the fastball working for him today here in 1986. Time travel game. It's the let's see who's up now. Lenny Dykstra, 126. I look over here. They ask me if he's fresh, and he lines it right at second baseman Marty Barrett for out number 3. Line drive for done. So we go to the top of the 4th. I'm gonna play one more game. My battery's dying. Let's see if we can find Bobby Ojeda. I don't know what I did with his card. There he is. Put him back in the pitcher's spot. Jim Rice is batting for the Red Sox, excuse me. He reached on an error earlier in the game. I'm not sure who made the error. I can't remember. I would have to look it up on the scorecard. And we can do that very quickly here to see Jim Rice. E1, an error on the pitcher. Okay, so Jim Rice, we're going to pull a card for Jim Rice. 115, it asks me if he's fresh, if the pitcher is fresh, and the pitcher is fresh. So it's a pop. Oh, wait, it's the top of the 4th now, so that means he's semi-fresh, so he would need a decide or die. And I look at the card to my right, and there is no bullet there in the center in that little box. So that means he moves on to the next column, and that says home run king or Satsack. He is neither. 115, and that's going to be he gets a hold of that one, swung on and lifted into the gap, lined into the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall, and Jim Rice is in at second with a leadoff double. Next batter is Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans struck out swinging in his first at bat. Gonna pull a card. 355. They asked me if he's a struggler or gilded. I'm still learning what gilded is, but as far as I know, he's not. Champion. Dwight Evans a champion? No, he's not a champion. Okay, so then it goes to ground ball fielder. Ground ball, unless he's a whiffer, he's a semi-whiffer. The decide or die on my right says he is. From the deck that I pulled, I used the previous cards. The previous card is decide or die, and also the numbers on the cap. So it says he is a whiffer, so that's a strikeout. So 1 out, and Jim Rice holds at second base. Next is the lefty batter, Rich Gedman. Gedman made an out in the infield in his first at bat. 246 control, ground out to first base. So if Ojeda's controlling, he is, so that's a comebacker. And fielder's choice. So a comebacker. Now, what I sometimes do, I'm going to roll a decider die. Well, actually, I can use it here, and there's no decider die. I was going to say that he moves to third on a bullet, and so there's no bullet, so he does not move to third. So that's an out, and he holds. So it's a ground ball 1-3, and that's going to be held up. So now it's Dave Henderson. Bobby Ojeda against Dave Henderson here with the runner on second base and 2 outs. So we're going to pull a card. It's going to be 1-1-2. 1-1-2 asks me if Ojeda's flash. He's semi-flash. The decider die says he is not. 1-1-2. Sat sack. He's semi-sat sack. We have to pull another card because we already used the decider die, and he is not a sat sack. So check with scorer. We're going to check with the scorer here, and that, we have to turn the page for that, and we're going to use a 1-2. Actually, check with scorer. You just roll a 1. It's a 1. Base hit off the glove. Runners advance 1 base. Any ruling? So it's a base hit off the glove of the shortstop. It's a single, and Rice is going to move to third, and Henderson holds at first. So you have runners on first and third now. We will pull a card for Spike Owen. Spike Owen flied out in his first at bat. Here's the pitch. 246 is the result. Control, and Ojeda is a control pitcher, and that's a comebacker again to Ojeda. Takes a few steps towards first base and throws out Spike Owen for out number 3. Gets out of a jam once again. So the Red Sox drop the ball and leave men on base. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. It's going to be New York. Wally Backman is going to lead off against Roger Clemens. It's a pitching duel right now. We've played 3.5 innings. The score is 0-0. We're replaying Game 6 of the 1986 World Series using History Maker Baseball. Using Fast Action Deck. 335 wild. Clemens is not wild. Sad sack is the batter. Sad sack, no, he is not. That ball is lined. Base hit right field. So Backman is on with a single. And then it tells me that Backman, as long as he's not stoic, he's going to take off for second. And here's the throw from the catcher, Gedman, and Backman is safe. Stolen base for Backman. So Keith Hernandez now with a runner on second and nobody out against Roger Clemens. Here's the pitch to Hernandez. 4.66 control. Yes, Clemens is a control pitcher, and that's a line drive base hit. And it says runners under the 4, right? First number is 4. Runners advance 2 bases on singles. So that's a line drive base hit. And the throw comes in from left, but not nearly in time. And Backman scores easily. He's got good speed. Single. Backman goes home. And Keith Hernandez with an RBI single gives the Mets a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Next batter is Gary the Kid Carter. 4.56. You look nothing under the pitcher. You know what? I can actually keep going with this because I have a charger right here. Let's see. but that's going to be in the way. So I'm going to have to move this just a little bit. Let's see how I can do this. Not easy. Let's grab this on the, that's not good either. Wait a second. Whoa! All right, let's see how I can do this. Let's bring it around. There we go. Not too bad. All right, where are we? Let's see. This tells me everything. Keith Hernandez just singled a run home. It's 1-0 Mets here in the bottom of the fourth. There's nobody out, and it's Gary Carter. 4-5-6 for Gary Carter. It asked me if Carter's patient. He is not patient. Hey, man. How are you, bud? And it's a fly out to center field. So Carter lifts one to medium center right there is Henderson, and that's going to send us to the chemistry. Let's see, I got chemistry, team chemistry mini chart. And it's going to be Darryl Strawberry. We already have a 2-2. So batting team dissonance, that's what it asked me. Hey, that's crazy, but sounds good, man. I like it. I like to hear that. So 2-2, as I said, it asked me if the batting team dissonance and the Mets are semi-harmony. So we're going to look at the decider die, and it says on here on my right on the deck of cards, it says they are harmony. So that's a no. It's the Mets are not in dissonance. Otherwise, it's a double. So, and that's a 2 under a 2 runners advance, two bases on doubles, active runner scores, and Hernandez I know is not active. And if he were active, I would not make him active because he was not a fast runner. An active guy would be like a Ricky Henderson or a Bert Campaneris or something to that effect. So that's going to be a ball that's swung on and driven into the gap for a double. Advanced by the batter, and Strawberry's into second base with a double. So Clemens is having a little bit of trouble here. Let's look and see what he's done so far to see if he is a struggler yet. So I'm going to bring up the scorecard, and he's allowed 1, 2. No, he's not a struggler because the batter before Strawberry made an out to center field. So there's 1 out. And it's Ray Knight with runners on second and third. 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. And we're going to bring the infield in, something I hate to do. Hopefully it doesn't come into play. Infield in, so we pulled a 2-3-4. Let's look and see what that is here. Let's push this back just a little bit so I can get the book into view a little bit better. You know, we're going to push the camera back a little bit as well. There you go. 2-3-4 says runners on base, plate drama. So plate drama, see what that looks like. I'm going to look at the numbers from the deck. 2-3. Catcher iron. Gedman is not an iron catcher. Otherwise reaches back to grab errant pitch ball. Okay, nothing happens. So ball 1. So Ray Knight. Still at bat with runners on second and third. The infield is in. We pull a card 123. It asked me if Clemens is flash, and he is flash, and asked me if he is fresh. He could be fresh if the decider die says he is, and he says, and that's a swing and a miss. He swung through that fastball. And everybody held up there. So there's 2 outs now. And next batter is going to be Mookie Wilson. Wilson struck out looking earlier in the game in his first at bat. We pull a card, 345. 345 asked me if he's an iron catcher. Gedman is not an iron catcher. Asked me if Wilson is a good eye. He is not a good eye. And that's a strikeout. So Wilson goes down on strikes, stranding 2 men on second, 1 on second, 1 on third. Yeah, but the Mets pick up 1 run on the Keith Hernandez single, And we go into the top of the fifth, and the Mets lead it by a score of 1-0 in Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. So Roger Clemens is going to lead us off. We're going to pull a card for Clemens. It's 124. We look at 124, control. Ojeda has control. Say chopper to short. And Rafael runs in over to first. One away. Next is going to be top of the order. It's going to be Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs is 1 for 2. 2, 3, 4. We're going to look and see what that is. Ask me if there's runners on base. No. Hot batter. Wade Boggs, is he a hot batter? It depends. What did he do last at bat? He flew out, so he is not, and he's not the designated hot batter from the role at the beginning of the game. So that's a 2, 3, 4. That's a pop out to third base. Infield fly, third base. Done. No writing here, folks. All right, so next batter is Marty Barrett. He is hot. He singled his last at bat. 155, 155. Nothing in the first column, and the batter column asked me if he's a home run king. He is not, so that's lifted to shallow center. Lenny Dykstra takes a few steps in and makes the running catch. This judge took a step back at first, and that's out number 3. So it's going to be Rafael Santana leading it off for the Mets here in the bottom of the 5th inning against Roger Clemens, the Rocket. Rafael Santana using fast action cards, nice and quiet. The stealth tabletop gamer. 145. Asked me if Clemens is a struggler. He is not. 145 batter. There's nothing there. Ground ball. A righty hits it to third. Ground ball to third. 5-3. One away. Next is the pitcher, Ojeda. Bobby Ojeda will pick up his card. There's a whole list of qualities there. Gonna grab a card for 456, 456. And nothing under the pitcher column. Asked me if he's patient. He is not patient. It's a fly out to center field. Then it's going to take me to the chemistry mini chart. See what happens with that. That's always a odyssey, if you will. So we already have our 2-6, our number for that. Next batter is going to be Lenny Dykstra. And I said it was 2-6, 2-6 under team chemistry, batting team, harmony, and the decider die says yes. So that's a fired up batter. We've been through this. This is like deja vu all over again. Fired up batter chops a single. So Dykstra hustles down the line and legs one out, and he's on at first base with 2 out. Now, if I really wanted to get Dykstra to go, I can roll. I can pull a card and see if he gets a lead. So if I pull I'm going to pull a card to see if I get a bullet. If I do, he gets a lead. Then we're going to roll to see. He's going to try to steal second with 2 outs. And no, he does not get the lead, so he does not steal. So Wally Backman, going to pull a card for him. 225. 225. See what that turns out to be. Asked me if Clemens is a star. He is not. Asked me if Backman's a slugger or a sat sack. He is not. So that's a line drive base hit single to center field. And runners on base, on singles. Runners advance 1 base on single. Active runner scores from first, though, second on any hit. So it said basically advance 1 base. So he's going to stop at second base. Now I could take the extra base. There is a chart here somewhere for taking an extra base. The hit and run attempt. Oh, extra base, okay. Let's see if the decider die is going to say No, he does not take the extra base. So he thought about it, but then changed his mind. Um, they got the ball in very, very quickly. I think it was 2-2-5. It was a ball to center field, line drive to center field, which Dave Henderson got to immediately and threw a strike into second base, and that kept Lenny Dykstra there. He had really no chance. It was hit so hard and right at the center fielder. He short hopped it and got it into the infield very quickly. So it's going to be Keith Hernandez, runners on first and second. We're playing History Maker Baseball, doing a mini kind of tutorial game for you. It's a great system. I love this system. It's exciting. Priced right. I'm using the fast action cards, and I'm using iScore to keep track of it. 1-2-6. So I pull over here. There's 2 outs, first and second. It asks me if the pitcher is fresh. Is Clemens fresh? Well, the decider die says yes, he is, because after the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning, you have to look at the decider die. He's a semi. Before that, he is fresh. So that ball is lined and caught by Marty Barrett. And that's the end of the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Both starters are still in there. It's Bobby Ojeda versus Roger Clemens. It's a 1-0 game. Mets are up. Billy Buckner, right there, is going to lead it off. We're going to pull a card for Billy Buckner. 125. Let's look at that. A struggler. Asked me if the pitcher is a struggler, and he is not. 125. Patient. He is not patient. So that's a ground ball to third base. Ray Knight across the diamond for the out. 5-3. Next is going to be Jim Rice. Jim Rice is 1 for 2. He reached out an error and then doubled. 2-3-4. Let's look at 2-3-4. Runners on base. No. Hot batter. Jim Rice. Is Jim Rice the hot batter? No. No. Wait a second. He is, because he doubled his last at bat. So that's a fence. Oh no. I think this hot batter, I believe, is the official hot batter. I don't know that it's well, I'm not sure about that. You know what? Let's give him the fence, because that's awfully exciting. And we're going to give him the fence. He is a hot batter because he doubled in his last at bat, and that's one of the qualifications for becoming a hot batter. So I'm going to say that he is a hot batter, since I run this league and I'm the damn commissioner. So we're going to go to the fence chart and see what happens there. Now on the fence chart, it asks me what type of batter he is. Now he's a slugger. It gives me scraper, slugger, home run king, and other. I think it's scrapper, right? And then let's see, he's a semi-slugger, and the decider die says no, he is not. So he's going to go under other, and he can get he's a home run on a 6. And I'm going to look at the number there. It is a 6. That ball is hit deep to right field, and going back is Darryl Strawberry to the track. Opposite field home run for Jim Rice, tying the game. So here we go. In play, home run, tie ball game. So Jim Rice, with a 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning off Bobby Ojeda, ties the ball game. Next is Dwight Evans, 256. I'm going to look down here, 256. I don't know if that's in camera. Probably not. Ask me if the pitcher's a struggler, champion, or patient. He's semi-patient. The side die says he is not. So it's infield drama. And that's a 6-6. We're going to look at the infield 6-6. First baseman gold. Keith Hernandez could be. Don't remember what Hernandez is. Semi-gold. Let's pull another card. And the decider die says no, he is not gold. So let's see what that is. It was a 6-6. Otherwise, bungled play, and that's an error on the first baseman. So Keith Hernandez had a chance to make an amazing play, but instead is credited with an error, and Dwight Evans is on at first. 1 out. Rich Gedman, 0 for 2 against Bobby Ojeda. We're in the top of the 6th inning, using fast action cards to keep it stealth. 3, 5, 6. Same strikeout. This is again where the righty lefty issue takes place. So we have a lefty batter against a lefty pitcher, Bobby Ojeda, and that's a strikeout, huge strikeout for Ojeda. So that's 2 outs now, and it's Dave Henderson. David Henderson singled his last at bat, so he's a hot batter. Let's hope that doesn't come into play. So we're going to pull a card for Dave Henderson. He's 1 for 2 on the day. 2-2-4. 2-2-4. It asked me, is Ojeda pitching at home? And he is, and that's popped up. Popped up to the infield, and Santana calling for it. And he makes the catch for out number 3. So the Red Sox score 1 on the home run by Jimmy Rice into right field. And the score is 1-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. It's Roger Clemens against Bobby Ojeda. A pitcher's duel, old-fashioned pitcher's duel, old school. Going high-tech with the I-score. Let's pull a card. It's going to be, let's see that. All right, let's see if we can get this just a little bit. There we go. Gary Carter is going to be up. Let me double check that. Yes, he is. Let's pull a card for Carter. 5-6-6. 5-6-6. Ask me if the pitcher's wild. No. Ask me if Carter's a good eye. He is not. And that's a strikeout, and it takes us to blue. So the pitcher's hot now in the blue mini chart, in the right now mini chart as they call it. And it's going to be Darryl Strawberry with numbers 3-6. 3-6. Cole pitcher, no. Otherwise, pop-up. And that's behind the plate, and that's Rich Gedman calling for it. And he makes the catch. Infield fly to the catcher. Next is going to be 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 6th. It's Ray Knight. 1-5-5. Nothing under the pitcher column. Asked me if he's a home run king. He is not. And that's a fly ball lifted to center. Henderson, a couple steps to his right, pounds the glove, makes the catch. Out number 3. We go to Spike Owens, the pitcher spot, Clemens, and Wade Boggs. Bobby Ojeda still in the game here in the top of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch, 1-1-4. Ask me if he's fresh. In the top of the 7th, he is not fresh, and not even semi-fresh at this point. There's nobody has a shutout going, so it asked me if the batter's sad sack or patient, and he is not sad sack. So that ball is lined base hit to right field. So Spike Owen singles to right. Darryl Strawberry gets it in, and up comes the pitcher who's going to bunt. And Clemens squares. Clemens squares and the pitch, and that is a ball back to Ojeda. He has nowhere to go other than first base, so it's going to be an out, a sacrifice bunt, a perfectly placed bunt, 1-4 to Backman covering at first, and Spike Owens stands at second base with the go-ahead run here in the top of the 2nd. Next is going to be Wade Boggs, who's 1 for 3. He's single flied out and then popped up to the infield, I believe. I believe that's what that is. And here's the pitch to Wade Boggs by Bobby Ojeda. Lefty versus lefty, 2-3-5. Well, ask me if Ojeda's wild. He is not. Eager. He is not eager, so it's a ground ball, second base, unless he is patient. He's semi-patient. The decider die on my right-hand card says he is patient, so that's going to be a walk. Ball four to Wade Boggs. Kept fouling off those pitches until he managed to get a walk. So that's, I believe, the first walk of the game. Can't really remember. Not going back to look at that at this point. Not that important. So Marty Barrett runners on first and second. Marty Barrett is a righty, and Ojeda is a lefty. We're going to look in the Mets bullpen to see who we can bring in here, and that's going to give whoever we bring in is going to be an ace. Do it here in the. We're not. It's too early to bring in McDowell. Let's see who we have. Boy, these cards are stuck together. Doug Sisk, he's a star. He's got no flash. Starting pitcher Aguilera. Jesse Orozco, but he is a lefty. Rick Anderson is a right relief pitcher. Bruce Brenny. Looking for somebody that I know played in this. Don't remember. Dwight Gooden. Tim Tuffle, Kevin Elster, Sid Fernandez. I know Sid Fernandez came in, but he's a lefty as well, so we don't have that many righties. So we don't have that many righties. So I'm going to bring in Bruce Bereni. I believe I remember him playing in this game, in one of these games. And Rick Anderson, I don't remember him. Rick Aguilera, he is a starting pitcher, but that doesn't really matter. We could bring him in. Orozco. So we're going to bring in Bereni. Bruce Bereni. And he's coming in. This is how you get him in. You click on the pitcher. We're going to see if I have him written in already, and I don't think we've written him in, so we're going to write him in as an add sub. And his name is Bruce. And it's Bereni. And he's in there right now. Okay, he should be in. Let's just find him again. We already put him into the roster. Include offensive sub. Yes. So he's going to bat in the same place as the pitcher was. So we got Bereni, a righty, facing Marty Barrett. Runners on first and second with one out. It's a tie game, 1-1, top of the seventh here in Game 6 of the World Series, the 1986 World Series between the Mets and the Red Sox. Mets lead the series 3-2. We're going to pull a card. We're using fast action cards. We're using History Maker Baseball. 1-3-3. And there's nothing under the pitcher column. They asked me if he's a slugger, and thankfully he is not. And that's a fly ball lifted to shallow left. Mookie Wilson comes in and makes a nice shoestring catch for out number 2. So Mookie showing his speed. Everybody holds up there. And had that gotten by him, it would have been trouble. So Billy Buckner now with 2 outs. Billy Buckner, a lefty. So here we go to the bullpen once again. This time we're going to bring in Jesse Orozco, the big O. Jesse Orozco. So we're going to go here, click on the pitcher, find Orozco, include offensive sub, yes, save. All that says is that he's going to bat in the spot that the pitcher was batting. So Jesse Orozco, let's look at him. He's going to be a double ace with the bullet because the first batter he faces, he will be considered an ace, and in this case a double ace. He doesn't really need a double since there's already 2 outs. A double ace would make 2 consecutive outs. So anyway, it's Orozco lefty versus Bill Buckner, a lefty. We're going to pull a card. Here's the pitch. Let's see what happens. It's a 2-2-4. 2-2-4. Asked me if Orozco's pitching at home, and yes he is, and that's popped up. Bill Buckner got under it. High pop-up with Santana calling everybody off. And that's out number 3. So Red Sox again. So far they left 8 men on base. And the Mets get out of trouble. Their bullpen gets 2 big outs. And it's going to be Mookie Wilson, Rafael Santana, and the pitcher spot. So Mookie Wilson is up against Roger Clemens. Here's the pitch here in the bottom of the seventh inning. 245. 245 says nothing under the pitcher's column. 245. Hero. Is he a hero? He's a semi-hero. The decider die says he is not. So that's popped up. Infield. Right side. Second baseman calls for it. And Marty Barrett makes the catch. One away. That takes us to the red or player experience. Santana is he has no experience. He's not considered new, and he's not considered an icon who's been around for a while, but Clemens is a semi-prospect, so that could be an advantage for the Mets. So we pull a card. Oh, no, we didn't have to do that. We already had a number 3-6. 3-6. Prospect pitcher, the decider die says, no, he is. Did I use that decider die before? Let me look. It was a 3. It was a 245, and I can look that up. Oh wait, and it was, who was it? Hero. I did use that decider die, so I have to pull a new one. And he is a prospect pitcher. Prospect pitcher. Misses outside corner. Batter rips a deep drive to outfield for a double. Santana gets a hold of one and drives it over the center fielder's head, and Henderson hustles after it and gets a strong throw in there to keep Santana at second base. So a one-out double by Santana. A mistake made by the second, third-year player. I believe he's a second-year player at this point, Roger Clemens. All right, so now it's going to be Jesse Orozco. And we're going to see a pinch hitter for the Mets at this point against Roger Clemens, still in the game. Only allowed 7 hits thus far. It's going to be Howard Johnson. Hojo. Hojo is going to come into bat for Orozco. We're going to pull a card for him. Turn to the right page. 80% of the results are from these two pages, 4 and 5. So it's 446. 446. Ask me if Johnson is, oh well, no, the pitcher is a star. And no, he is not a star. Then it asks me if the batter is a sad sack, a utility, or patient. He's a semi-utility. And the decider die says he is not. So that's going to be a line drive, base hit, single to right. And runners advance 2 bases, so that's going to score Santana. So the Mets take a lead. RBI single for the pinch hitter. Howard Johnson. So now it asks me, it says that active steals, and then it's red, so that's going to take us to the experience chart, unless we make a pitching change, and we probably will. The manager may have gone 1 batter too many with Clemens at that point. And active, we're going to find out if Howard Johnson is active by turning a card, and the next card, there's no decider die, so he's not active, so he holds. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So this is one way I can show you how an ice score, you correct your errors. I never replaced, in other words, I took Howard Johnson's card, put him on top of the deck, but look, I let Jesse Orozco bat in the game. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to make that change right here. I'm going to bring in Hojo, Howard Johnson. He's there. Highlight him. Defensive sub. No, he's not going to be the pitcher. And so Hojo's batting now. And Hojo singled. Hits single. And that advances by the batter. And he holds up at first. So that's how you make your corrections. Very, very simple. Okay? So next is going to be Lenny Dykstra, but we're going to see a relief pitcher. They're giving Clemens the hook. They may have allowed him to go 1 batter too many. But the manager really showing a lot of confidence in the young fireballer, Roger Clemens. He may have a future here in the major leagues. Calvin Schiraldi's going to come in. Calvin Schiraldi, righty versus, oh no, Lenny Dykstra. Let's pull a lefty here. Let's pull a lefty. Let's be fair. Because Schiraldi's a righty. Who do we have as a lefty? Steve Line, he's a center fielder. I know nothing about the 86 Red Sox at this point. Too many years since that. Bruce Hurst, he pitched already. Tim Luller, okay, a lefty there. He's a lefty. And Joe Sambito, another lefty. I guess I'll bring in Sambito. I don't know if he was on the roster, but so be it at this point. All right, Sambito's coming in, replacing Clemens. So I know we're going to have to add him. Joe Sambito. And he's a lefty, throws lefty. There you go. And we just brought him in, so we're going to have to, no, he's not going to, for now. There it is. Okay, Joe Sambito against Lenny Dykstra. Lefty against lefty. I'm going to pull a card, see what happens. Runners on first. Howard Johnson on first. The Mets lead at 2-1 here in the bottom of the seventh. It's a 2-3-6. Double control. Sambito is, no, he's a semi-control. Saturday says he's not at all, and that doesn't come into play anyway. Pitcher batting, no, he is not. 2-3-6 base on balls, so that's a walk. So Dykstra manages a walk. Runners on first and second, Wally Bachman. And Bachman is a switch hitter, so he's going to bat righty. Here's the pitch, 3-4-6, 3-4-6. Nothing under the pitcher. Eager, he is not eager, and that's ball 4. Bases loaded now. So back-to-back walks by the relief pitcher, Joe Sambito. And it's Keith Hernandez. So Sambito, the lefty, is going to stay in to pitch to Hernandez. And the infield is going to be brought in. Say 2-2-5, 2-2-5. Star. Sambito is not a star. So slugger or sad sack. There's no slugger sad sack, and that's a line drive base hit center field. Runners advance 1 base. Active runner scores from second on any hit. Dykstra may be active if the decider die says he is, and the decider die says he is, so he's going to score a a huge 2-run single by Keith Hernandez. In to score is Johnson, followed by Dykstra, and stopping at second is going to be Bachman. And Keith Hernandez is there with a 2-run single with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Gives the Mets a little bit of a cushion. They lead at 4-1 now in Game 6, in a game in which it could bring them the World Series, because they lead the series 3-2. So Keith Hernandez coming through big time, one of my favorite announcers. Next is going to be Gary Carter, a righty. So we're going to see a pitching change. Pitching change here. And it's going to be Tim Lawler. No, actually, we're going to bring in somebody better than that. Let's bring in their closer. Their closer. Actually, we're going to bring in Schiraldi, Calvin Schiraldi, pretty good. He's an ace. So Calvin Schiraldi, and he's in there. So that's the 3rd pitcher in this inning. Should be in there somewhere. Oh no, he's not, so we're going to write him in. Calvin Schiraldi. How do you spell that? Schiraldi. And he's a righty, so we don't have to change anything. We find him, we put him in there. He's in the game now. There he is, Calvin Schiraldi facing Gary the Kid Carter, righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. There's 1 out. Runners on first and second. The Mets lead at 4-1. 5-5-6. 5-5-6. Ask me if he's an ace, and he is. He's a double ace. So that's a line out. That's a line out to the third baseman. And then the next batter is going to pop up, held up, held up. And the next batter is going to pop up. Infield fly. And it's going to be Strawberry to the second baseman. So Calvin Schiraldi does a great job as a double ace. And that's how that works. You bring in a pitcher, he gets the ace quality. Plus, if he has the ace quality, he can get you 2 back-to-back outs. So that's outstanding. And so the Red Sox are out of the top of the 8th. Damage has been done. They're behind 4-1 now. So they're 6 outs away of elimination by the Metsies. Here's Jim Rice, and we pinch hit for Jesse Orozco. Big single by Howard Johnson. So we're going to bring in Roger McDowell, the closer, to go the last 6 outs for the Mets. See if he can hold on to this lead. Roger McDowell. So Orozco, we're going to put him in as the 9th place batter. Let me see before. So he'll be registered in the game. So he's batting 9th, but now we're going to replace him with Roger McDowell, and it's going to ask me include him. Do you want him to be a substitute for Roger McDowell in position 9? I'm sorry. Do you want to make the offensive substitution by putting Roger McDowell in lineup position 9? Yes. There. All right, so it's going to be Jim Rice against Roger McDowell. I'm going to pull the fast action card. 1-2-2. Ask me if he's a workman. He is not. Champ or whiffer. He is a champ. But he's a semi-champ. Decided that says yes, he is, and that's a number. Hustling down to first base. The throw from Knight, not in time. So Jim Rice, hustling down the line, beats out it, gets an infield hit. A little nubber, beats out a number to third base. Okay, so runner on first now, Dwight Evans against Roger McDowell. 2-3-6, 2-3-6, double control. He is not double control. Pitcher batting, not pitcher batting. Base on balls, ball 4. So runners on first and second now for the Red Sox. So the Mets in trouble after taking a 4-1 lead with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. The Red Sox get the first 2 men on base here in the bottom of the 8th. I'm sorry, in the top of the 8th. So it's Rich Gedman. Here's the pitch, 2-3-5. Ask me if the pitcher's wild. He is not. Ask me if the batter's eager. He's semi-eager. We're going to look if there's a decider die on my card to my right, and there is not. So that's a ground ball hit right at second base. He flips to Santana, back to first, not in time. Fielder's choice. So you press in play, fielder's choice, 4-6, done, because that's all they get. Out, force out. And everybody else is, wait, what happened to the, oh wait, let's go back, let's cancel that. Let's do that one more time. So there was runners on first and second, my fault. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice, 4-6. It says, what happened to the runner that was on second base? He's safe, advanced by the batter. What happened to the runner on first? He is out by force out. And then the runner on first held up. So next is going to be Dave Henderson. Dave Henderson is 1 for 3. Infield fly, a ground out, and a single. So Dave Henderson is going to bat against Roger McDowell. Runners on first and third. 135. It's a black 1. We're going to go to that. Let's see what that is. I think it's a ballpark, a black 1 mini chart. So that's going to be the ballpark. We're going to look and see a 2.5, 2.5. Small ballpark. It is not. It's a normal ballpark. Otherwise, caught near left field fence, fly out, and a 2. Let's see what a 2 lead die says. A 2 runners. active runner on third base scores on a flyout. So Jim Rice, I don't know that Jim Rice is an active runner, and he is not. So he's going to hold. So that's a fly ball. I don't know where that was at. I think it was left field. Pop fly left field. So not deep enough for Rice. So everybody's going to hold, and that's going to be 2 outs now. And it's going to be Spike Owen. Spike Owen is 1 for 3 on the day. He singled his last at bat. And we're going to bring in a pinch hitter here. It's going to be Mike, no, who's it going to be? Oh no, it's going to be Donnie Baylor. One of my favorite players of all time. Don Baylor is going to come and pinch hit. If he gets a hold of one here, the game is tied. And he's got some power for sure. Home run king, semi-home run king. All right. So Don Baylor, let's put him in the game for Spike Owen. Romero's going to then come in. So Baylor, Don Baylor, no. Let me get a little sip of my drink here, a little thirsty. Oh, all right, Donnie Baylor against Roger McDowell, runners on first and third. So Baylor is the tying run at the plate with good power. One swing could tie this thing up. So Roger McDowell better proceed with caution, if you will. Here's the pitch. It's a 3-6-6, nothing under the pitcher. Pinch hitter, which he is, single to right field. And under a 3, runners advance 2 bases on any hit. Unless he's stoic. What is Gedman? He is stoic, so he's going to hold at second base, but that's an RBI single by the pinch hitter, Don Baylor. He's advanced by the batter. There you go. So runners on first and second now. And that was a pinch hitter for Spike Owens, so he's out of the game. It's going to be Romero coming in to play short. And let's see, I wonder how, I know that Baylor had really good speed at one point in his career. I don't see where Romero is. A little bit of a drag. Finding sometimes they're sticky cards. Okay, I can't find Romero anywhere, so I'm not going to worry about it right this second. Oh, there he is, Ed Romero. He's going to be the new shortstop. But let's see what Baylor is, semi-stoic. So he didn't have the speed that he once had. He's older by this time, by 1986. I know in the 70s he was stealing 40 bases, 30 bases. He had really good speed. Big man with speed. Not much of a fielder, though. Spent a lot of time as DH. So Roger Clemens is up, but no, it was Calvin Schiraldi. So let's actually we're going to put Schiraldi into that spot because I didn't do it earlier. Just so there, Schiraldi bats. Now we're going to replace Schiraldi with another pinch hitter. And who's that going to be? Mike Greenwell is going to pinch hit. There we go. So Mike Greenwell comes in. He's going to pinch hit. Now we have to look up his data real quick because I don't remember. I can card him right away pretty much, but I do need to look at his data. I looked at it yesterday or the day before. I don't have a card for him, but I can create one in just a split second just by looking at his information. Let's see. Mike Greenwell. Now, he batted in 300 actually that year in just a few at bats. So we're going to make him a 300 hitter. Mike Greenwell's stats. And that's, he batted 1986. He had 35 at bats, 11 hits. He batted 314. So he's going to be a hero. I believe that's what I made him. He's going to be a hero, and that's all he's going to be. So you can visualize Mike Greenwell batting. And here, you're going to have need a lot of imagination because I'm going to put a blank card there. Mike Greenwell, the batter. He's a hero. 345 runners on first and second, 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Mets lead it by a score of 4-2. Iron catcher, Gary Carter is not an iron catcher, but I will double check. Gary Carter is not an iron catcher, like I said, just double checking. Mike Greenwell batting, 345, good eye. He does not have a good eye, that's a strikeout. So Greenwell strikes out. And there's going to be a new pitcher now for the Red Sox. There we go. All right. So it's going to be a new pitcher, and we're going to go to Bob Stanley. I'm going to make a couple of changes. I'll show you how to do the substitutions. See if I can find Bob Stanley. There it is, Bob Stanley, righty, coming in, replacing Calvin Schiraldi, who was pinch hit for. And Bob Stanley, boom. And it's going to be against Ray Knight. Ray Knight, here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets lead it by a score of 4-2, Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. The Mets are up in the series 3-2. Pull a card, 136. 136, is Stanley an ace? No, he is not. Whiffer is the batter, Whiffer or cold? Ray Knight. Ray Knight is, what did he do last? If he would have struck out his last at bat, he would be cold, and he's not. Infield drama. Infield drama, the number is 1-5. Infield drama, 1-5. It asked me if the shortstop is, oh, I forgot to change the shortstop. The shortstop is now Romero. So it asked me if the shortstop, what did I say it was? It was 1-5. 1-5 shortstop iron. Is the shortstop iron? Let's see what Romero is. He is semi-iron. The decider die says no, he is not. So he's not iron. 1-5. So otherwise, smooth grab, a bouncing ball, ground out. Let's say ground out 6-3. Nice play by Romero. And next is going to be Mookie Wilson. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Tells you right here, 0 for 3. And here's the pitch from Bob Stanley, 3-5-6. Oop, forgot to turn the page. 3-5-6. They asked me if are they the same. They are not, because Wilson's a switch hitter. Utility or sat sack is not utility or sat sack, and that's a line drive right down, base hit to batting lefty to right field. So Mookie Wilson's on with a single. Mookie Wilson is on with a single, and we're going to see if he gets a lead, and he does. And we're going to try to steal second base. Let's see what the catcher's arm is. It's a little chart here on my right, which I'm not going to be able to show you, but Gedman, I think, Gedman is a semi-gold catcher. Semi-gold. And let's see what the decider die says. Batting, visitor batting. The decider die says no, he is not gold. So that means he's average. So catcher is normal. Second base 1-4. So we're going to pull a card, and it's a 2. So that's a stolen base for Mookie Wilson. Big stolen base for Mookie Wilson. And Rafael Santana, the batter, against Bob Stanley. Here's the pitch, 2-4-5. 2-4-5. Nothing under the pitcher column. We go to they asked me if he's a hero. He is not. It's popped up to second base, to the right side. Second baseman calling for it and makes the catch. But that takes us to the experience chart. And I think I missed going there earlier on a single. I believe it was a single to right, and I never went to the experience chart. I'm not sure. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Who knows? C'est la vie, right? So the experience chart is going to be Roger McDowell now batting on the experience chart, and we are not going to, with 2 outs, we're going to let him hit. We're going to have to let him hit. So here's Roger McDowell Johnson is out of the game. He pinch hit earlier. Unless we can bring somebody else in. Let me see what other pitchers the Mets. I think the Mets had another pitcher that I could use. Let me see, this is a pitcher batting. You know what, Sid Fernandez, he'll be a lefty, but he's going to come in. So we're going to pinch hit. The Mets are going to pinch hit, and Tim Tuffle is going to pinch hit. Tim Tuffle is going to pinch hit. Let's put him for Roger McDowell. Tuffle. Tim Tuffle. Now, safe. So Tim Tuffle is up against Bob Stanley with Mookie Wilson on its second base. And here in the bottom of the eighth inning, Mets lead at 4-2 in Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. Mets lead the series 3-2, so this could be the championship for the Mets. Tim Tuffle up at bat. Here's the pitch from Bob Stanley, 235. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was with a pinch hitter. That means you lose the experience chart, so it goes to 235. 235 is on this side. 235. Ask me if Stanley is wild. He is not. Eager. The batter is not eager. Ground out to second base, and that retires the side. So it's the end of the game. It's perhaps it's the end of the game. It's the last 3 outs for Boston to come back. Let's see what Boston can do now. So Sid Fernandez coming in. Sid Fernandez. Yeah, there he is. And he's going to face the lefty Fernandez. He's going to face Boggs, Barrett, and Buckner. It's right up there. All right, here goes. I'm going to pull a fast action card. Top of the ninth, 4-2. New York leads it. In New York at Shea Stadium. 4-5-6. 4-5-6. Nothing under the pitcher column. Let's look. Is he patient? He is semi-patient. The decider die on my right says there he is. The decider die says he is patient. It's got the bullet. So I use that from the actual deck that I'm pulling these cards from. So patient means the batter draws a walk. Okay, so Boston. It's got a runner on, nobody out. Against Sid Fernandez, Marty Barrett. Marty Barrett grounded out, singled, flied out twice. So he's 1 for 4 on the day. Here's the pitch from Fernandez. 2-3-6. We look at 2-3-6. Double control. He is not double control. Pitcher batting, no. Base on balls. Ball 4. Oh my goodness gracious. So we got the tying run is at first base now with Billy Buckner, nobody out. And Billy Buckner is not going to be bunting. Here's the pitch, 1-1-4. Oh boy, this is trouble. Fresh pitcher, and he is. That's a hard hit ground ball right to shortstop. Flips to second, back to first, double play. Ground out, 6-4-3, double play. My goodness gracious, that's the last thing you wanted to happen. Double play. Oh, no. Gotta do that again. Ground out, 6-4-3, but there was a runner on second, and he's advanced by the batter. The one at first is double play, is out. So there's 2 outs now. And it's going to be Jim Rice against Sid Fernandez. Jim Rice at the plate has the tying run. He's got great power. See what happens. We pull a card. 1-1-2. Ask me if Fernandez is flash. He is, unless he is a good eye. Rice is not a good eye, and that's strike 3. Game is over. The Mets win the World Series, 1986 World Series in Game 6. And that's all she wrote. So Fernandez gets a big save. And I have to look back and see who gets the win. Not totally sure. I believe it's Ojeda gets the win, I believe. The Mets took the lead in the bottom of the seventh. Let's look and see how many innings Ojeda pitched. Ojeda pitched all the way. Oh, wait a second. Ojeda got in trouble. He single sacrifice, then a walk, and this was the top of the inning. So then we brought in, I'll tell you who we brought in. We brought in Bereni, and then we brought in Jesse Orozco, who is the pitcher of record. So Orozco gets the victory. We're going to put that in, show you how to do this. So you exit out of the game. Confirm exit, yes. You can always go back if you need to. And we're going to put in the winning pitcher. Winning pitcher was Jesse Orozco. He was the pitcher of record when the Mets took the lead. The losing pitcher is going to be Roger Clemens. And then the save goes to Sid Fernandez. So the Mets win the 1986 World Series. And let's look at, and that's it. So you can look at the scorebook here for New York. Huge hit. Keith Hernandez drove in 3 runs with 2 singles. A big pinch hit RBI by Howard Johnson in the 7th inning. Drove in Rafael Santana from second base. And the Mets win it by a score of 4-2. Very, very exciting game. Buckner grounds out into a double play in that top of the 9th inning. And that's all she wrote. Mets came back, won 3 in a row after being down 2-1. And that's all she wrote for the 1986 World Series, guys. So thanks for stopping by and taking a look, and I hope you saw how much fun History Maker Baseball can be. I really enjoyed it, and I know that this chaotic, I have a very chaotic style, and this the iScore really helps me out, man. It anchors me, and I can always go back, and it brings me, it kind of gives me opportunities to correct without crossing out and going back and not realizing it. And I can always do that. And you know, if you make mistakes during the game, you can also make mistakes of putting people in that they weren't supposed to be in, or not putting people in, or you can always go back at the end into edit right here, edit game. And let's say you made the mistake in the 7th, you can just replace the person, put the person in there. And that's how you can make corrections. It sometimes happens with pitching or whatever. I mean, you're using the right card. You just forget to make the change for whatever reason. So you just put in the name and you take out the person that was not supposed to be in there. So you make the correction, and he gets credit. The card gets credit for or the player, whatever, gets credit for the data, the stats, and so forth. So that's it. I'm going to say, bid you farewell for tonight. History Maker Baseball is a sale until midnight. Enjoy. And iScore, easy app. It's a free app. You get it down, and it's pretty simple. Play a few games, and you'll get the hang of it. And it keeps track of everything for you. Now I'm going to send an email with the box score to my computer, and then it'll be there, and I can bring that up at my convenience. There it is, successful, sent to my email. Boom. Take care. Any questions, let me know. Hasta la vista. I got a tutorial out there for using iScore, setting it up from the beginning, setting up your teams, starting your league, loading your rosters, and then getting, yeah, I've got all that. All right, so it's all out there. Take care. Thank you.